Name is Patrick Shine, and I'm farming in Ardfinnan, which is 8 or 9 kilometres from Cahir in South Tipperary. And we're a mixed farm with dairy, beef, and some tillage as well. And the type of cow we have, we sort of mixed in between different cows over the years. It's mainly black and white, but we also dipped our toe in with Mount Ballard and a little bit of Jersey, and then we went Fleckfee over the last 4 or 5 years. But I think we'll just stay black and white. It's just some bit of variety more so than anything else, just with the Fleckfees.
My name is Folke Rohrssen. I'm a German national, came to Ireland 35 years ago to work here for a year or two, and I'm still here now. We have our own mixed practice with 6 vets doing a lot of large animal dairy work particularly, and a lot of herd health, which is my hobby.
The different seasons, we look forward to the season and then it's gone. Like when you're in the springtime, you're looking forward to April and May and silage time, and then you move on to the tillage side of things, which is in August. And it just keeps going on like that. It's the seasons that keep you motivated in farming, is what I think anyway, because sometimes in spring you just don't think it'll ever end with weather challenges and whatever is going wrong, but you always think of the summer's days to keep you going.
Well, at the moment, I really have to say I love the herd health work that I do, because it really leads to progress, it leads to healthier herds, it leads to having, to deal with farmers that are interested in improving and working with us. And we can see such drastic improvements in their performance indicators that it's absolutely, I love it.
Calf rearing, I suppose, firstly is to have your cow in good condition when she is calving down, and after that it's cleanliness is a big thing with us here. We have all our own straw, so animals are always well bedded and kept warm, and we use some calf jackets, but probably it's a thing we will do more of as time goes on. And other things to cast. Look, with calves, a lot of the time it's making your life easier. We went through different stages of bringing calves out, milk through a pipeline to the shed, and last year we put in a JFC calf feeder, which has made life a lot easier, and you're monitoring calves all the time through that, and you know when they're drinking and you know when they're up and about, and it's just making life easier in a lot of cases. Since we put in the calf feeder, we used precision microbes for the last few years just on any calf that was maybe down on themselves. But when we bought the feeder, we have the liquid applicator installed in it. So each calf gets the precision microbes for between 30 and 40 days when they're on milk. The general thing with calves is here, the first week they're in a training pen, we'll call it, and then they move on to the calf feeders, and they wouldn't go on the precision microbes maybe till day 15. And then they're on it then till day 45, day 50. So they're getting a good, and it seems to, last year we had no issue with any calves, and any calves that had touches of a scour or anything like that, we just front loaded precision microbes, and we never had any issues of taking calves out or anything. We didn't lose any calves. It just seemed to solve the problem over a couple of days.
3 most important things. Well, the first thing is colostrum. To get colostrum into them as quickly as possible, at least 3 litres, within the first couple of hours of life, is essential. I think it's also critical that the cows are in good shape in the transition period, that they have good colostrum. There's no point in putting bad colostrum into calves and expecting something. And then I suppose in large herds, I see that sometimes the calves are being pushed a little bit into the background as the season progresses, and I think they need to continue to put their emphasis onto the calves, even if workload in the beginning of March, middle of March is overwhelming on the other part. Somebody needs to be in charge of the calves and take responsibility, and if they take responsibility for everything that happens there, I think that's a good thing, and it's important to do.
I suppose with calves, sometimes it's not an overnight fix with them. They're is something new with calf rearing every year that you come across. And there'll always be some little setback in calves. It's never just plain sailing, because we finish the cattle, 90% of the calves born here, between maiden heifers and beef animals, they stay on the farm. So if they, in general, you could have a carefree spring while they're in the shed, but at some stage when they're out, then they'll get some little setback of deficiencies or anything. It's always just a learning curve with calves. And you do your best. Once you solve one problem, maybe there's another problem over the horizon again. But you just, as I said, it's a slow burner with them sometimes. It's just, you won't fix their problems overnight, but you just endeavour to do a little bit better and every year as you go through the calving season.
I'm a great fan of weight control during the rearing of calves in their first year, but a lot of fellas don't have scales. And I think one of the tips that I give to farmer is that if they run the calves, say, through a crush, and they know this calf is exactly like what I want the calves to be, you know, at a certain time, draw a line on the wall and run across, and then you know which ones are smaller and which ones are that size or even bigger, and then you can divide them up a little bit and you can start alternating the feed amounts and that between the different lots. And I think the sooner you do that, the more even the lots become, and that's critical for replacement heifers. You know, in getting them to breeding, I think I'm a great believer in having the breeding lot as even as possible at the target weight that they should be. And I think that's a help. Just draw a chalk line on the wall and run them past, and then you can divide them up, you know, into a small lot and big lot, particularly at the back end of the year then.
I suppose really, when it comes to the beef side, it's you're following the calf as you're going along now, from the day it's born to the day it's leaving. And you know its mother, and you're finding out so many things with all technologies there, like you can, with Herd Plus and everything else, you know the ancestry of every animal that's born. And you try, like we've tried with beef, we've tried all different breeds from, as I said, Fleckvies, Albrecht, and you see what works on the farm and what's not working. And through weighing program every year, you're seeing the animals that are thriving and the ones that aren't doing so well, and the different management strategies you have at grass during the summer.
The best piece of advice I've received, I think, well, I don't know who gave it to me, one of the vets that I saw practice with, you know, he said, if you love what you do, you actually don't work, you enjoy life. And like, I'm in the job 40 years this year, and I've always enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it, and I wouldn't want to swap it with anything. So I think that's just, if you think you're not enjoying it, you're in the wrong job. You know, you should be enjoying it, and you should be, you know, life should be not just work and spare time. It should be, you know, just something that's pleasant all around.
That is a hard enough question, I suppose. It's going back to the same thing again. You'll see new challenges all the time in everything we're doing here, through whatever side of the enterprise it is. There'll always be some new challenge, and new technologies, of course, is great in farming. There's, over the years, we put in the collars on the cows, and then the drafting gate went in, and you just see so many ways of making your life easier. And of course, meeting other farmers and listening to their experiences and finding out what they found to be great on their farm. And it's just really, as you get older and labour is scarce in most places, it's just trying to streamline your system as much as possible, that you can make it the way that you're home in the evening at a normal time, and that you're not working 16, 18 hours a day.
I tell you, one that really kind of had an impact was the program from, I think it was Disney have it, it's Limitless with Chris Hemsworth. It's something where he goes through all the different stages of trying to prevent Alzheimer's and dementia to come in because his family is very heavily burdened with it over his past, and he goes in 6 episodes through the different things that people can do to stay healthier, to stay balanced, you know, mental health as well as physical health. And I think it's a very powerful program, and I would recommend everybody to watch it and see what they can take out of it.
I'd stay motivated. It's a case of maybe when you getting older, maybe some people wouldn't say I wouldn't be cool in the first place, but don't stress out as much maybe, and that's a lot of it. True challenges. If you're going to go mental over every issue, you're just putting more stress on yourself. So in the springtime, yeah, at times it is touch and go, and tempers will be rose every so often, but at the end of the day, it's trying to solve problems and just make things as smooth sailing as possible.
It's funny you should ask, because one of the things I do since I watched the program about 2 years ago is I have my cold shower every day. And I think it's no harm. You know, I know it's sometimes tough, but you know, I think it's something that, yeah, it really gets you going, you know.
As I was saying, maybe driving a tractor wouldn't go down as something that would be good for your physical or mental health, but it's just in getting off farm sometimes. Go to the GA games, and maybe time with the family, I'd say, would be important enough, and a little bit of walking, a mixture of a few different things, like, and a bit of socialising, of course, thrown in never does any harm.
Well, since they've come on stream over the last couple of years, I think they've done a lot. I'm a strong believer in avoiding the use of antibiotics and other, chemical pharmaceuticals. I know the nutraceuticals, or whatever you want to call them, you know, the bacterial things, they can be quite helpful, and in conjunction with management measures, they're perfect.
I think they misunderstand that getting food on their table is a simple process, and it's not. There's always challenges in getting food on the table. There's regulations and targets, and it's just when someone picks a carton of milk off the shelf, that how it got there. It wasn't just by magic and the quality that it's coming from, and traceability we have in Ireland and all is second to none.
Well, I think it's important that the farmer and the vet, you know, have an open and honest relationship where they feel that they can talk about anything all the time, that there's no things, oh, I can't be telling that the vet because otherwise he's going to give out, or I'm doing something wrong, or something like that. You know, I think that it's critical in every aspect, cow or calf health, that, you know, you're informed if there was prior treatment, you know, that if you see a couple of sick calves, you know, and you ask, you know, what did you do to them in the last few days, you know, you get exactly what was done. And that helps us, you know, to give correct advice and to put them on the right track. I feel that, you know, with pretty much all our clients that we have, you know, we have a very good relationship in that sense. And I think that makes the whole thing, back to the question earlier, you know, makes it fun to be in the job, and makes it enjoyable, you know, to be exchanging, you know, the knowledge is from both sides. And I always learn from the farmer, because there's not everything I know, you know, and I'm always curious to find out, you know, certain details in relation to the feeding and the whole, you know, farming structures that are here. So, you know, we try to give each other, bounce things off each other, and both learn.
And I think probably what has helped, even in like Folke and the whole team in Cahir Vets, is efficiency a lot of the time. If you're busy in the springtime and you've a vet call and you've to call in for maybe some antibiotic or something, that you ring forward and it's there waiting for you when you go in. And it's all part of, it's not just the boss, it's the other vets and the girls in the office and all the backroom team as well that make a big difference to the efficiency of the whole operation. And of course, it's we find here, we discussed technologies earlier on, but the collars are a great addition. So when Folke comes out or Connor comes out, you're able to say the cow hasn't eaten this is what she's done. Giving precise information a lot of the time is very important. And as he said, an honest opinion at all times, that if you say that the vet didn't do something right, you give that opinion, and you're not sugarcoating it all the time with your vets, you know, so that's very important.